The first heat of day stretched across Juniper Steam, a narrow diner on Southbridge Avenue where the vents hummed and the air smelled like orange peel, coffee, and butter. Sunlight skated along the chrome edge of the counter, turning napkin dispensers into tiny mirrors. Booths breathed with easy chatter. Forks chimed, a radio crooned soul from decades ago. At the window sat Imani Brooks, 21, notebook open, wheels of her chair tucked beneath the formica table. She drafted a recipe for her community bake sale cardamom cornbread with honeyed peaches, pausing to watch buses wink past. Imani had practiced moving through mornings like this without taking up much room. Swing the door, mind the rug, angle the chair, set the brakes. She wore a denim jacket stitched with tiny suns, a habit her aunt called stubborn optimism. Steam curled from her tea. Inside, the fry cook called tickets with a smile. It felt like an ordinary hour, measured by refills and sugar packets, the kind of hour that lets hope breathe. The calm didn't last. At the next booth, a group of local boys, 3 of them, loud and restless, no older than 16, had decided that boredom needed an audience. Their laughter bounced off the metal napkin holders. At first, Imani ignored them. She'd learned that sometimes silence was armor, but cruelty, once fed, grows hungry. One boy, wearing a red cap, turned backward, nodded toward her wheelchair and smirked. "Bet you don't race much, huh?" The others laughed. Their voices carried over the clatter of dishes. Imani's hand trembled slightly as she lifted her cup, pretending not to hear. Then a hand darted forward, quick, thoughtless, violent. Her plate of waffles crashed to the floor, syrup splattering her jeans, the sound louder than her breath. The diner fell silent, as if someone had cut the power. The boys' laughter lingered, sharp and metallic. Imani's throat burned. She wanted to speak, but humiliation pinned her tongue. The fry cook froze mid-motion, spatula raised. A woman at the counter shifted uneasily but didn't stand. Imani bent to pick up what she could, trying to make herself smaller, invisible, anything to stop the stares. The laughter returned, softer now, meaner. She wondered how cruelty could feel so casual, like flipping a switch. As Imani reached for the broken pieces of her plate, a shadow fell across the tiles. A man's hand, dark, weathered, gentle, lifted the largest shard before she could touch it. "Don't," he murmured, setting it aside carefully. His voice carried the warmth of someone who'd seen too much to be surprised by ugliness. He looked to be in his late 40s, salt at his temples, the kind of man who probably came in every morning for black coffee and quiet. Without asking, he fetched a clean napkin and wiped the syrup from her sleeve. "They ain't worth your piece, baby girl," he said softly, glancing at the boys with a calm that made them glance away. It wasn't much a napkin, a whisper, but to Imani, it felt like oxygen in a smoke-filled room. Moments later, the faint thrum of engines drifted through the diner's glass windows. At first, no one paid attention. It could have been trucks on the highway, but the sound grew heavier, layered, rhythmic, like thunder approaching from all directions. Heads turned. Forks froze halfway to mouths. Outside, a line of motorcycles rolled into the parking lot, sunlight flashing off chrome and black leather. The name Iron Promise Riders curved across their jackets in bold silver thread. The group was known around Southbridge community men, veterans, brothers who fixed engines by day and mentored kids by night. The Bullies went quiet, confusion replacing mockery. Even the cook peeked over the counter, eyebrows raised. When the door swung open, the bell above it jingled faintly, but the silence that followed was absolute. A tall man led the group inside, broad-shouldered, beard flecked with gray, eyes steady and unreadable. His name was Malik Grant, and the room seemed to breathe differently when he entered. Malik scanned the diner with the slow precision of someone who didn't need to speak to be understood. The other riders, 6 men and 2 women, all dressed in black denim and pride, fanned out quietly behind him. Conversations died mid-sentence. The fry cook's hand froze above the stove. His gaze landed on Imani first. Her shoulders were drawn in, eyes glistening but unbroken. Then he turned toward the booth where the 3 boys sat, their laughter now lodged somewhere between guilt and fear. Malik's jaw flexed once. "Y'all think that's funny?" His voice was low, a deep current that filled the room. "Making someone smaller so you can feel big?" No one answered. One boy swallowed hard. Another reached for his soda and missed the straw. Malik took a step closer, boots heavy on the linoleum. See, respect's easy when you've got a crowd. Harder when you've got to look someone in the eye. He paused, then nodded toward Imani. Apologize. The word dropped like a hammer. For a moment, no one moved. Then the boy in the red cap slid out of the booth, head low. I'm sorry, he muttered, voice breaking. The others echoed, trembling versions of regret. Malik didn't smile. He simply nodded toward the door. Go on, and next time you want to act tough, try helping somebody instead. The boys stumbled out, faces pale, swallowed by the roar of waiting engines outside. When the door shut behind the boys, the diner exhaled one collective, trembling breath. Malik turned back to Imani, his tone shifting from iron to warmth. You good, sis? He asked, crouching to her level. His eyes, steady and kind, met hers without pity. She nodded, though tears blurred her vision. Malik motioned to the waitress. Bring her another breakfast, on us, and whatever else she wants, pie, shake, the works. He slipped a few bills onto the counter, more than enough to cover the morning. Then, without hesitation, he shrugged off his leather vest and draped it around her shoulders. The fabric smelled faintly of smoke and rain. The club's patch iron promise riders gleamed over her heart. Now you got family here, he said quietly. For the first time that morning, Imani smiled small, disbelieving, but real. The diner erupted in soft applause. Long after the motorcycles faded into the hum of the highway, Imani sat with her untouched plate of waffles and the vest still warming her shoulders. The laughter that had once pierced her now seemed distant, irrelevant, like a bad dream dissolving in daylight. People approached her table one by one, a nod from the cook, a gentle squeeze from the waitress, quiet words from strangers who hadn't found their courage soon enough. Each gesture stitched something back together inside her. As she wheeled herself toward the door, sunlight poured through the windows, soft and forgiving. She realized that kindness could roar louder than cruelty, that sometimes the fiercest protectors wore leather and carried hearts gentler than prayer. Outside, the wind tugged at her hair. Imani lifted her face to it and whispered, still standing. And for the first time, she truly was.